Yes.
Thank you very much. I don't know, you are interested in this issue in the Korean Peninsula.
Dennis Rodman? Are you asking about Dennis Rodman?
Yeah, this is going to be the last question.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah. South Korean foreign minister has already arrived in this town. And the director Cho Tae-yeon, who is in charge of the Korean Peninsula issue, met Special Representative Davis today. Yeah, first of all, they're talking about North Korean issues. So what exactly the main agenda on this meeting? And they still have a gap between U.S. and North Korea and China as well. So what is the meeting today?
Well, I don't have a readout of that meeting. I'm happy to get one and see if we can share it later today or tomorrow. I know he'll be having a bilateral with the secretary. I think tomorrow is the 7th?
Yeah,
yes,
tomorrow. Yeah.
And we will have a readout of that as well.
And, I know the U.S. position has not changed, but if these six countries is going to start this talk, what exact condition the U.S. need for restart? If North Korea promise they stop missile test and a nuclear test and anything like that, if they promise, is that enough? Or the promise and the concrete action, is it different?
Well, as we've always said, the onus is on North Korea to take meaningful actions towards denuclearization and refrain from provocations. I'm not going to further detail what those mean. They've, as I've said, committed on numerous occasions to denuclearize. We're, ready and committed to authentic and credible talks on this issue if they do take some steps, but I'm not going to further detail them.
The concrete action, is it different from concrete word promise?
I think actions are different from words, but sometimes actions can be words, as I'm sure Matt's going to say. And again, I just don't have further details about what that might look like.
Do you have anything to say about Dennis Rodman and his band of basketball players going to?
I don't think that I do. We haven't been contacted by Mr. Rodman about his trip. We obviously recommend against all travel to North Korea by U.S. citizens.
I think he's the only person in the United States who can meet Kim Jong-un.
Well,
so
again,
I do want to ask you about some of his comments. He said, I think, something along the lines of, I don't want to save the world. I'm not here to save Kenneth Bay. That's not my job.
okay.
I was just wondering if you
If I
have.
have a response.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, securing Kenneth Bay's release is a top priority for us. We have said repeatedly that he needs to be returned home to his family. But Dennis Rodman is technically right. He's not there as a representative of the U.S. government trying to affect anything. We weren't contacted by him, and he's not there representing us.
So
I just said Dennis Rodman is right. Mark this down as a historic day from this podium. I just don't know.
Do
We
you
haven't
have
been in
any
contact.
message for Mr. Kim Jong-un? His birthday is tomorrow, I think.
Do I have a birthday message for him?
Yeah.
I don't think I will at this point. Maybe
Actually-
Jen will tomorrow.
My question actually isn't too dissimilar from the question that's already been asked, but I wanted to know if you could provide some kind of preview for the bilateral meeting tomorrow between Foreign Minister Yoon and Secretary Kerry.
I'm happy to check with our folks and see if there's more of a preview. Obviously, they'll talk about a number of regional and global issues that they have talked about in the past, but I just don't have more of a preview.
And presumably if the issue of Japanese Prime Minister Abe's recent visit to Yasukuni comes up, what would be the message that Secretary Kerry would convey to Foreign Minister Yoon?
Well, I don't want to preview what the Secretary may or may not say, but I think it would probably track very closely with what we've said publicly about this. Focus, though, on where we go from here and the fact that we think it's in the interest of all countries in the region to resolve their differences through dialogue. And we think that's important to move forward. We know these are sensitive issues, obviously. But if there's more of a preview, I'm happy to check with our folks.
Thank you.